Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we start with example problem 10.1. Right. First see the example problem. Then afterwards we'll go to the next continuation topics, Pascal's law and variation of pressure with depth. Right, see here ma. First see the example problem. The two thigh bones femurs, each of cross sectional area 10 square centimeter, right. The two thigh bones femurs, each of cross sectional area 10 square centimeter, support the upper part of a human body, of mass 40 kg, right. Usually the human body with respect to age and genetically also we have different mass, not only 40 kg, sometimes 60, 80, in case of some persons 100 also, more than 100 also, right. It's exceptional cases, right. But anyhow, here he has taken support the upper part of human body of mass 40 kg. So this mass is going to bear by the two thigh bones. But here this mass is not the total mass. That's keep in mind. Just now I told you 60 kg, 100 kg, 80 kg, that is like total mass. And sometimes the mass of the upper part also, it's very common thing, right. Because everybody is with respect to age and genetical conditions, we have different masses, no, right. But I am asking you to keep in mind this mass is the mass of the upper part, that's all, full stop. Estimate the average pressure sustained by the femurs. Okay, right. See here, I'll repeat once again. In this problem, they have given the two thigh bones, each of cross-sectional area 10 square centimeters, support the upper part of a human body of mass 40 kg, right, full stop. Estimate the average pressure sustained by the femurs. So in this problem, they have given cross-sectional area of thigh bone, that is 10 square centimeter, and mass of the upper part of human body, that is what, 40 kg. Asking to estimate the average pressure sustained by the femurs. Okay, right. Now see the answer. Total cross sectional area of the femurs is equal to, because we have two legs, two thigh bones, right. So total cross sectional area of the femurs is is equal to 2 into 10 to the 2 into 10 to the power of 1, whatever it may be, 2 into 10 square centimeter, full stop. The force acting on them is F is equal to 40 kilogram weight, that is equal to 400 Newton. 40 kilogram weight, that is equal to 400 Newton, full stop. This force is acting vertically down and hence normally on the femurs. This force is acting vertically down and hence normally on the femurs, full stop. Thus the average pressure is P average is equal to F by A. That's what you know, F by A, that is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 5 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square, because in place of F we have to take 400 ma, in place of A we have to take 20 centimeter square, but we should not take directly, we have to convert into meter square. You know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? So after converting the centimeter square into meter square, centimeter square into meter square, then you can take the value to substitute here, so that you are getting average pressure as 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square, okay? He is asking to estimate the average pressure only, no? That is, so we calculated the average pressure, that is 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. We got it, right? Now, next topic, Pascal's law. Romba important, romba mukyamana vishayam, right? Romba mukyamana topic. Pascal's law, right? See here. The French scientist Blaise Pascal observed that the pressure in a fluid at rest is the same at all points if they are at the same height. The French scientist Blaise Pascal observed that the pressure in a fluid at rest is the same at all points if they are at the same height. This is the statement of Pascal's law. So you must keep in mind, the pressure in a fluid at rest is the same at all points if they are at the same height. If they are at the same height. This fact may be demonstrated in a simple way. Right now we are going to see this part. That is what demonstration means, just like we are going to discuss mathematically also, right? See here, to understand Pascal's law, we are going to take one example to discuss, right? See here, see this picture. So what is this picture? This is what A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F, right? It is what EM, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. See here. So it is A, B, C, D, F, and it is the EM, okay? It is the E, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, okay? Right. See, A, B, C, D, E, F is an element of the interior of a fluid at rest. This element is in the form of a right angle prism. The element is so small so that the effect of gravity can be ignored, but it has been enlarged for the sake of clarity, okay, right? And here don't think that we kept that is what a triangle shaped prism. Don't keep that we kept an object. You just imagine the fluid element, right? You just imagine the fluid element in that shape. That's what I am saying to you, okay, right? Hippo, see here, ma. An element in the interior of a fluid at rest, right? This is the element in the interior of a fluid at rest. This element A, B, C, D, E, F is in the form of a right angle prism, right? In principle, this prismatic element is a very small, so that every part of it can be considered at the same depth. Every part of it is very small, ma. For seeing purpose, I drew somewhat big, but actually it is very small. So that's why every part of this element can be considered the same depth from the liquid surface, and therefore the effect of the gravity is same at all these points. The effect of gravity is same at all these points. Now, but for clarity, we have enlarged this element. See, this is an enlarged picture only actually, right? We have enlarged this element right now. The forces on this element are those exerted by, see, on this element forces will exert, no? So the forces on this element are those exerted by the rest of the fluid, right? It is what the element, no? This is what the rest of the fluid, ma. Like you just imagine the water, no problem, right? So it is the water, here, it is totally water. So the forces on this element are those exerted by the rest of the fluid, and they must be normal to the surfaces of the element as discussed above. You can see here FA, FB, FC, see the direction, right? So which is normal to the surface of the element. Right, now the fluid exerts pressures. Fluid exerts pressures PA, PB and PC. So pressure at A, pressure at B, pressure at C. So notations PA, PB, PC on this element of area corresponding to the normal forces, FA, FB and FC as shown in the figure. You can see here it is FA, FB and FC. Okay, right. See, these forces, these normal forces, FA, FB and FC on the faces, that is what BEFC, ADFC and ADEB, denoted by AA, AB and AC. AA, AB and AC. That is what area of cross section of A and B and C respectively. Thus, what can we write now? FB sin theta is equal to FB sin theta is equal to FC. FB cos theta is equal to FA, right? FB sin theta is equal to FC. So this is the FC, no? Right? It is the FC. So what is this? Which is FB sin theta. FB sin theta is equal to FB sin theta is equal to FC, right? Next, FB cos theta is equal to FA. FB cos theta is equal to FA. It is FB, amma. So this is FB cos theta. FB cos theta is equal to FA, right? Next, this is by equilibrium. Now by geometry, AB sin theta is equal to AC. AB sin theta is equal to AC. AB cos theta is equal to AA. AB cos theta is equal to AA. This is by geometry. Anyhow, from all these things you can write. So from the picture, by equilibrium or geometrically, you can write the things. What is FB sin theta is equal to FC and FB cos theta is equal to FA. Next, AB sin theta is equal to AC and then AB cos theta is equal to AA. Okay, right. From these four things, we can write like this, no? FB by AB is equal to FC by AC, because sin theta will get cancelled, ma? And here also FB by AB is equal to FA by AA will come, right? From those two equations, finally you can write FB by AB is equal to FC by AC, that is equal to FA by AA, right? So that you know very well, P is equal to F by A. So you can write PB is equal to PC is equal to PA. What does it mean? It means, you can say, pressure exerted is same in all the directions. Pressure exerted is same in all the pressure exerted is same in all the directions in a fluid at rest. In a fluid at rest. Okay, right. Some more information I want to say here itself. You just be concentrate. It again reminds us that like other types of stress, pressure is not a vector quantity. Pressure is not a vector quantity. In the morning class we discussed pressure is a scalar quantity. Okay, right. No direction can be assigned to it, because I already told you pressure has no specific direction. So what does it mean? We can't assign any direction to the pressure. The force against any area within a fluid at rest and under pressure is normal to the area, regardless of the orientation of area. Regardless the orientation of how the area exists, that will be different. So without considering that, pressure is simply the force against any area within a fluid at rest and under pressure, right? So how to calculate the pressure? When we are calculating the pressure, right, how the force is acting, that and all we have seen in our morning class, right? There it is, we are considering that normal force, right, the force which is acting normal to the surface. There itself the formula, mathematical formula for pressure is P is equal to F by A. Now, next, consider a fluid element in the form of a horizontal bar of uniform cross section, the bar is in equilibrium. The horizontal forces exert at its two ends must be balanced, or the pressure at the two ends should be equal. So he is giving some other element, that is what horizontal, right. This proves that for a liquid in equilibrium, the pressure is same at all points in a horizontal plane. Suppose the pressure were not equal in different parts of the fluid, then there would be a flow, as the fluid will have some net force acting on it. Based on this, what can we say? Generally, think of it. In the absence of flow, the pressure in the fluid must be same everywhere. Everywhere. Wind is a flow of air due to the pressure differences. Right. Regarding this Pascal's law statement, I want to give a little explanation. That is what, right, here we have taken a small element in the form of a triangle. He is asking to take element in the form of horizontal. There you can see the horizontal position of the element. Because of that position, what we experienced, you can say that the pressure is same at all points, right? So what is the statement? Once again you can repeat. In the absence of flow, the pressure in the fluid must be same everywhere. Must be same everywhere, right? Now, variation of pressure with depth, okay? For example, in our childhood, right, we could swim in a well, right? So surface of water, and as you are moving into the water, I mean as you are moving deep inside the well, you will feel some weight, right? Not because of your mass, because of the mass of the water which is upon you, That is very important point. So that we are going to study now, which we are calling it as variation of pressure with depth. Variation of pressure with depth. So to see this, you just consider a fluid at rest in a container. You can see this is where the fluid is at rest in a container. Here, the point 1 is at a height h, above point 2. Above point 2, the pressures at points 1 and 2 are P1 and P2 respectively. That's what we assume. The pressure at this point is P1, the pressure at this point is P2. Consider a cylindrical element of fluid having area of base A and height h. Okay. As the fluid is at rest, the resultant horizontal forces should be 0 and the resultant vertical forces should balance the weight of the element. Is a fact, no? See, when a body is in equilibrium, what is the thing, what happens? What happens? We know that we are applying here to this fluid element which is cylindrical shape, So the forces acting in the vertical direction are due to the fluid pressure at the top, that is what P1 into A, because P is equal to F by A, no? So F is equal to P into A, which is acting downward. At the bottom, which is P2 into A, acting upward. Right. If mg is the weight of the fluid in the cylinder, we have P2 minus P1 into A is equal to mg. Pressure difference, P2 minus P1 into A is equal to mg, right? If rho is the mass density of the fluid, we have the mass of fluid to be m is equal to rho into V. See, V means volume, volume means height into area of cross section, no? Rho h A. So that P2 minus P1 is equal to rho g h. Okay. And now, pressure difference. What are the factors which affects pressure difference? Pressure difference depends on the vertical distance h between the points 1 and 2, mass density of the fluid rho, and acceleration due to gravity g. Pressure difference depends on three factors. One is h, another one is rho, the last one is small g. That is what acceleration due to gravity. Right. If the point 1 under discussion is shifted to the top of the fluid, means like this, up to here, up to there, say for example water, which is open to the atmosphere, P1 may be replaced by the atmospheric pressure PA, if we replace P1 with PA because of the natural or general situation, then the excess of pressure P minus PA at depth H is called, that is what, P minus PA, which is called as gauge pressure. You can also write P is equal to PA plus rho GH, but P minus PA is called as gauge pressure. Okay. So here the pressure P at depth below the surface of a liquid open to the atmosphere is greater than the atmospheric pressure by an amount rho GH, because see here at this point the pressure is PA at this point, see the red light. Suppose for example at this point what is the pressure means, you have to use this formula, P is equal to PA plus rho GH. P is equal to PA plus rho GH. Okay, right. Now next, the area of the cylinder is not appearing in the expression of absolute pressure. See, we are not considering the area of the cylinder, that is the important point. Thus the height of the fluid column is important and not cross-sectional or base area or the shape of the container. The liquid pressure is the same at all points at the same horizontal level. This is what he is repeating once again the statement of Pascal's law. So the result is appreciated, right? When the liquid pressure is same at all points at the same horizontal level, this result is appreciated through the example of hydrostatic paradox. You can see this picture, A, B, C, right? See, these are different shapes and the quantity of water also will be different. But if we calculate the pressure here, otherwise here, you will get the same value. So that's why he say consider three vessels A, B and C, capital A, capital B and capital C. They are connected at the bottom by a horizontal pipe. This is the horizontal pipe. Right? Now we are going to filling all these vessels with water, right? With equal height. So here, the level is same. Right? Afterwards, what is our conclusion? On filling with water, the level in the three vessels is the same, though they hold different amounts of water. That's I already told you, right? Even though they hold different amounts of water, but the level of water in all these three vessels is same. Now, because water at the bottom has the same pressure below each section of the vessel. That's what he want to say. So this is what illustration of hydrostatic paradox. The three vessels A, B, C contain different amounts of liquids all up to the same height. Here I didn't draw the water molecules, but I request you to imagine, right? You just imagine, for example, water is like this. So the level of water is same. At that moment, at that instant of time, you can say this statement. That is what the liquid pressure is the same at all points at the same horizontal level. Okay, right. So this is what we discussed in this class. In the next class, we will continue with next continuation example, that is example 10.2, and then next continuation topic, that is atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. Okay, right. Thank you.